Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Ambitious Journey podcast. I am Daharan Bivens.
And I am Drake Allen. Welcome back.
Yeah, we got another one.
And
yeah, so this just been an interesting week altogether, man. Dude, I'm wrapping up school, and gosh, man, I feel like every day it's just something else and something else and something else, and like finally, it's starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like it's like, okay, I had my last lab this morning, and I felt so good. So we are right there, man, right on the cusp. But yeah, how's your week been going though?
hey man, can't complain.
Yeah.
I remember those feelings though. Finishing up school, that's a
yeah, man. I am ready to be done. Needless to say, but okay. So you hit me up with something earlier today. It was the 5 dinner guest thing.
Yeah. So
yeah, kind of go into that a little bit.
So say you're you get 5 guests, dead or alive. Well, obviously they're going to be alive at the table. So you pick 5 people that you can think of. It would be like kind of like your all-star dinner cast.
Okay. Okay. Well, go ahead with yours.
So for mine, I started off with Kobe. MJ.
Okay.
I did Tupac, Adam Sandler.
What?
And Andre 3000.
Why Adam Sandler though, bro?
Because I feel like somebody's got to make some things kind of funny at the table, but also like I grew up like all of his movies when I was a kid are hilarious, and so
right.
I'm gonna take this chance to.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Dang. All right. So yeah, because I didn't think about it right away when you sent it to me. All right. So we're just gonna spitball here. We're gonna go right forward. All right. So let's see. So first one, I want to know one dinner guest, whoever they claim is Jesus. Whoever that person was that the stories are told about, I would rather that person. I want to see that actual person. Not the made up one that I guess we've kind of envisioned ourselves.
Yeah.
That would be my first one. Cause then that would kind of zero in a lot of things for me. So then I was like, oh, okay, this is the guy that, and then I would say to him, so why don't you make some things clearer for people when you were doing this stuff? All right. So that would be my first one. Second one here, I guess is okay. Second one, oh, this is gonna get weird. Second one, I would probably Hitler, bro. Okay. And the reason why I say Hitler is because I just want to be like, yo, what were you thinking? Like, how did you not think that was gonna go bad? Like, I don't get. How did you think controlling everything was ever gonna go well? Like, people can't follow directions, bro, with fear or no fear. So why did you think the whole world was gonna like be on your side? I mean, I kind of just want to see like his line of thinking and what got him like to that point. I've seen like the stuff in history, you know, they kind of like talk about him and say like, oh, this was the turning point for him. But I wanted from his mouth as he was like, this was the day I got pissed off. Okay, this is what I said. Enough is enough. I'm going for it. Like that's what I want to hear. Let's see my other guest. Shoot. Nah, I don't want to say that one. I kind of just kind of like as like out of fandom, I would want LeBron to be there, but I mean he doesn't really have to be there.
This is your chance to meet those people. You know what I mean?
But see, I feel like that could really happen now.
How?
Like I just feel like I could like end up in a situation to where I could meet LeBron, so I wouldn't have to have him like at my dinner table. That makes sense.
Like I feel like you put something behind the scenes I don't know about then, because
I mean like
I don't know how we meet LeBron.
Well, like you can you can go to a game and meet LeBron and do like the little I mean, honestly, if we could get a press pass right now just for
Yeah.
doing a podcast
Yeah,
and go back
but
there and meet LeBron.
but this is your chance to like no holds bar, ask any question, like all those kind of things.
I mean, yeah. Okay, I still think like you could still almost meet him because like the barbershop thing,
Okay.
how they have just people just come just sit there. So it's like, so I want to say, but I don't really even know like what I would ask him because like I almost like see most of his life played out. So I'm almost like wanting to revert to people like I couldn't really see them. Like I would love to see the guy or group of people, whoever this is, like that started the game of baseball. Like how did that come about? So I don't know who they credit that to, but
Yeah.
like that guy. Um, so what? That's my three. Okay, the guy that before George Washington, what they said there were 6 presidents. I would want to see the first one of him. Where like, how did he get people in order? Because again, like it's just kind of fascinating to me that like people were able to get so many people in order. Because it's like
It's
people
so
don't follow
opposite. It's
directions.
so opposite today. That doesn't happen. Like,
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like people don't follow directions. So like how did you get the wherewithal and just also the respect of so many people to like let them get in order? So I think we should, I mean I'll look up to see who that is. But that guy, so that's my 4. Um hmm. Fifth one. Uh you know, I think I would go with Einstein.
okay.
Just because I want to see like, though I may not understand a word he's saying because what they say he was schizophrenic.
Mhm.
Um, I think I do want to see his tipping point. Like if he could get like a concise thought, I would be like, well, okay, so tell me right where it was where you had this profound idea because what they said he was like on a bus and he got the what is it E=mc².
Yeah.
And like time was relative. That yeah. But before all that though, like there had to be a moment where he was like, "Yo, what is up right now?" So I think that would be my 5.
So end of the story here. Your table is very smart, and my table is not. So
No, I think I think you went with more like just fandom.
yeah, that's
Well,
kind of like I definitely picked like off of people that I grew up watching and people that definitely had a big impact in the world. Obviously, for me, like I said, I picked Adam Sandler because that's somebody I grew up watching his movies
right,
and
right.
somebody pretty famous. But then like Tupac, that's not somebody I can meet, but like we all see how like what started there, and
Oh
then
yeah, yeah.
having Kobe and MJ at the same table would be kind of fun. And then
That would. Now
and then
see,
I,
those are people I would invite. Like if I had like a dinner party,
yeah,
then okay, then I would throw those people. But if I just had 5 people sit down right here, right now,
yeah.
that's who I'm going for. Dang, there's really another guy I want to throw in there.
Hey, that's
It's
an
the
honorable
sixth.
mention. It's all good. But my fifth,
Yeah.
I picked Andre 3000 because like that Atlanta like hip hop scene that Outkast really like started. Man, I
Oh
would
yeah, dude.
I would love to just know the behind the scenes of that and just like I
Well,
mean
I mean,
so many
they
questions.
created timeless music too.
Yes.
Like they have a sound that it's like they saw it coming.
Hmm.
Like you know what I mean? It's they are a huge precursor, like you said, for a lot of the music scene you see today, especially in the South. But like more so, how much of a stronghold that Atlanta has on the music scene, dude. Like they were there at the beginning of that.
And they're
So,
gonna be around for a while. So
oh yeah. I was gonna say, do you know about like the Anunnaki?
no, I don't know what that is.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say, I would, my honorable mention would be you you just have to look this up at some point, but like whoever like found like the first Dead Sea Scrolls and the guy that connected that to the Anunnaki. I believe that's how that works. That would whoever that guy is. I forgot his name as well, but that would be my honorable mention
Yeah,
because I know.
I didn't go past like the 90s. Like I kept everything like
Oh yeah, this
kind of
century.
relative. So our tables are completely different. But that's I got that idea off of the All the Smoke podcast
Okay.
with Matt Barnes and is it Steven Jackson?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
they
yeah.
had Kelsey on. And they,
Man, I don't see. There's only a few podcasts that I really like check for and listen to. I'm glad you reminded me too because I listened to the Joe Budden podcast
Mhm.
and they just put out a new one today. But like listen to them. I listen to Rogan because Rogan has so many people on there.
Mhm.
And Budden gives me like the music type like stuff that I'll kind of like look for. But outside of that, I mean, there's not too many like I just really I guess listen to. Oh, that's not true. The Crime Junkies one. I went through a huge spurt of that. Have you ever listened to that one?
No.
Oh, dude, you should because they go through. I believe it's two women, but I don't know their names. But they go through like these like infamous cases, and they give you like details about them and like how they figured it out. And it's just really cool like to hear like how things kind of like linked up together. If you're into kind of like mystery, when I was a kid, like my favorite books to read were mystery books. So like it's kind of like, dang, okay, like you're kind of just getting these pieces all together. So it's
Yeah.
kind of dope.
Yeah. I love podcasts. There's too many to name that I listen to.
Oh man,
So
dude, do you know? Okay, dude, I guess we can add ourselves to this list too. You know, there's over like 900,000 different podcasts now.
yeah, I believe it. It's
Like a new one starts every day.
yeah.
Like I mean, look at us.
Yeah.
Like
There's
it's
so many. There's so many.
yeah. There's so many out there.
It's because it's like I feel like people don't want to listen to radio and have a commercial every three, like every it's like play 2 songs, 5 minutes of commercials. That's like
Exactly.
half over a third, if not half of your commute is listening to commercials that one you
Exactly.
don't care about
Yeah.
and two you
Exactly.
don't want to hear. So being able to
See,
listen to a topic that you like and like maybe the people on the podcast or somebody you like, I feel like that's just way easier than radio.
exactly. Also, I hope this hurts your feelings as much as it hurts mine. So, uh, so my fiance Taylor, she loves listening to the radio. Dude, she plays the radio every single morning.
Oh,
She listens to the radio. She listens to the people talk and everything. And I said, "Yo, why don't you just listen to some music or something?" Or like she said, "Cause I like it. I like them talking." I said, "So then what? Like, why don't you pick like a podcast?"
yeah.
And she said, she was like, because like she said, I mean, it's kind of like a podcast. They talk about stuff that that I like and blah 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 blah. I said, okay, so why don't you listen to my podcast? And then she said, well, you don't really talk about stuff that I like. And I was like, oh, oh, good. No, I get it. And then she said, no, I'm not saying it like that. No, I get it. So what I say doesn't interest you. Makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're getting married.
So I just don't. I don't think I could ever pick the radio. Like when I was in Vegas a couple weeks ago, we did a rental car to go like look at like national parks stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And
You said in Vegas?
yeah, so like we drove over to California to do like Death Valley stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when I was returning the rental car after I filled it up, I don't remember where I was. I did something, and I was in the car where my phone wasn't connected to the Bluetooth, and the radio was on. And I
Yeah.
swear to you, it was like 2 songs and like 5 to 7 minutes of commercials, and then like every third commercial was a Joe Biden commercial, the same one.
Oh yeah.
And I was
Dude.
just like, yo, can I please stop hearing this like same commercial?
Same thing.
Like if you're
Yes.
gonna make me listen, give me diversity.
Yeah. And that's my problem, like too. But you see a lot of people are choosing podcast and streaming platforms just in general of music over the radio because they are tired of that, or there's like a specific song or types of music that they want to hear over and over.
And
And
yeah, I'll listen to the same 10 songs in my car
yeah.
before I listen to the radio.
Well, have you seen a lot of radio stations are getting podcasts?
Really?
Yeah. So like, for instance, so iHeartRadio, they have a podcast platform. And I'll say like, so one of Breakfast Club.
Mhm.
So they are considered like a podcast now. And it's just like those ones, I think the Bobby Bones, I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure they have like a podcast type thing. And it's like, those aren't podcasts, dude. That's radio.
Yeah.
Like, don't try to, I guess, kind of muddy the water with saying it's not a podcast. You have a huge thing backing you. You're not just open platform talking about what you want to talk about. Like you have like an agenda, I guess. Like it's not a podcast. I feel like podcasts you can kind of gear them how you want, what you want to talk about, but it's more freedom in a podcast than there is like on radio.
No, absolutely. Radio is going to always be more censored and
Yeah.
Like you're gonna have less topics you can really talk about, unless you're Charlemagne the God and can just
Right.
do whatever you want. Apparently,
I'm glad you brought that up too. Have you heard all this stuff with like censorship?
uh,
So like how just basically like so certain platforms of people, like if they whether it be like on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, like they're being censored if they put like certain things um
hmm,
like in videos or talk about certain topics.
hmm,
So like I don't know, I mean, so you say you hadn't heard about it. So that's kind of the gist. And a lot of people are upset about it because the idea of these platforms was to be open
hmm,
and to be a way to get your thoughts off and express your thoughts while at the same time like people listening in and tuning in for it. And it's like now if you censor that or you keep that away from people, like how's that fair to one, to the public, and then two, to like the person that's putting out the content.
yeah,
And so I'll tell you, like from like uploading like to YouTube and stuff, like they ask you all these questions and stuff now that they used to not ask. Like they say like is there like a gun in the video? Are you talking about guns? Are you saying anything that could be inflammatory or triggering to somebody? And it's like, dude, how am I supposed to know like what's gonna me just saying my favorite color is whatever could set somebody off. I can't believe that would be your favorite color. Like you don't know what's gonna set somebody off. So somebody can like report your video or audio because it set them off, and now you're censored.
hey, you're about to trigger some people talking about that.
I mean, but you know, honestly though, dude, like it's you know what I'm saying. It's like, and I feel like now, I mean, it's a huge thing too that we kind of saw like heading towards the election for like political figures, but you see it a lot too in music now. A lot you see just a lot of artists talk about how they aren't getting the same push, especially like on their platforms, like those open platforms like that because of the type of music that they have or the types of things that they talk about. You even saw Rogan, as far as like podcasts go, how they were calling for censorship of him,
Hmm.
and it's just like, dude, every anybody can be mad about anything. Like it's almost harder now to find people that don't get mad about stuff than it is to find people that get mad about stuff.
Yeah, facts. But I mean, that brings the first thing that comes to mind is, when we were kids, obviously people bought CDs, and like there was one place
Right.
you didn't buy CDs from, Walmart, because they were all censored. So it's
Yeah.
like, so,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
like, what do you expect? Like everyone kind of already said we don't want this before. What, like we don't want that again. We never.
Yeah. Like nobody wants to be. I mean, to limited to a certain degree,
Mhm.
people want to be, but like uh, nobody wants to be put in a box though
No.
when they're on platforms like this.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, you can when you click on a video or if you click on some audio, you can turn it off. Like
Facts.
at any point in time, you can choose. I don't want to hear that anymore. So how do you sit there and get mad about something you're choosing to listen to or like take part in?
Exactly.
It's just so strange to me, dude. And I'm like, and then on top of that, for somebody to back up like the ideas of you, they're like, yeah, you're validated. It's like, no, that's silly.
Yeah.
That's just making more crybabies and wussies. That's what that's doing. And more people to say, my feelings are hurt. It's so bothersome.
Yeah. No,
I don't like it.
I hope that does not last long. I hope that that trend does not last.
I mean, I don't know how you turn it around now because you crack the door open.
I was gonna say we
You know
do.
what I mean? Like
We
it's
all have that like snowflake mentality these days.
yeah, and it's like people they're just so soft. I mean, that's the best way to just soft, dude. Like and I'm not even saying like you got to be this tough, brolic person. Okay, it's one thing like if somebody's saying something like derogatory, I guess, about you or like about something. That's one thing. But like, or you feel as if like something that they're saying could be damaging, I guess, to something I don't really know, but like I think it still kind of falls into that derogatory thing. But like if it's just their ideas and their thoughts, hear them out. Or like, okay, so I feel like most platforms, like it's based off of consumption. the consumer has the control. If an artist, for instance, in music, is talking about something that you don't like, you don't buy their music. You know what happens when you don't buy their music? They don't make money. So they'll figure it out really quick. Nobody likes this. You know what I'm saying? It's like the same with these platforms. I mean, we have to where people can contact us on here. You can leave a comment about what we're saying. That goes for any video on YouTube unless they disable the comments. Tell them, hey, this topic kind of sucks. I didn't like it. But then you don't have to continue to take part in it. It's all consumer based. So I don't know why then they have to censor you when it's already in the hands of the consumer to censor. I can filter out anybody I don't want to listen to.
Yeah, there's a next button for a reason.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like but I feel like it's this thing that's kind of right here right now. And if we keep cracking it open, they're gonna bust it wide open, and it's gonna be like, can't say this, don't do that. Like, you can't put like certain words in titles.
Yeah,
it's like
that's ridiculous.
Dude, it's a word. It's like and again, I don't want this to be like confused with like certain like slurs towards people, like or like anything that's like very derogatory, racially charged, things like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. But at the end of the day, like
people, what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, yeah, but it's if somebody just says like, I don't know, like how they're saying this stuff, like it's okay for them to put like toxic masculinity in something, but if they say something like tough guy does this and this to somebody, they're like, they can report that video all because it says that, and you're like, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That doesn't
make sense at all.
Yeah. So that's kind of my thoughts on that.
There's something else that I was thinking about though.
Yeah.
I know I texted you about it. I was just thinking like, just randomly, I don't know what made me think of this, but just like looking at different jobs and stuff, like what would be the worst job to bring to like have to bring your kid to, like for like
bring my kid to? Okay, I thought you were gonna say what's the worst job. I was like, I think we kind of talked about that already.
Yeah. No, like for instance, say you have bring your kid to work day.
Yeah.
What's the worst profession for that?
Oh, okay. So wait, do you already got something like in your head?
Yeah, I do, but I want to let you go first on this one.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll probably say first one, sanitation worker that actually rides the truck.
Okay.
Probably the worst one. Second, if you're a hands-on worker in like a biohazard part of cleanup for a hospital. Jesus, can you imagine walking into there and there's a full tray full of poop? And like you're the kid walking in, you're like, yo, this is what you do. You touch this stuff.
Come home and touch me after you touch me.
Exactly.
Don't give me no hug when you get home.
You out here living like this. Like that would probably be the second worst. I don't know which one is worse out of those two. And the third worst one, probably be okay. Well, it depends on if you're a lazy kid or not. If you're not a lazy kid, then this probably wouldn't bother you at all. Or if you're just kind of used to being outside, it wouldn't bother you. But I'll probably say the next one would probably be like a mason for like a construction site.
Okay.
Because then like they're gonna make you carry those bricks all day, move those bricks, stack them like.
Yeah.
And you would just be like, bro, can I just get a break? So I would just imagine like as a kid, well, bringing your kid because your kid would slow you down, one. And then two, you're being the kid, like it would be sucky. Like, I don't want to come here and do this, bro. I'd rather sit at school.
Yeah.
Or like sit at the house. So yeah, those would be my three.
I thought two. And I just thought of them because it's like, one, I saw one the other day and I was like, man, that would suck if his kid was with him. But the first one, you know those people that write like parking tickets?
Oh yeah, like meter maids.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the wrong thing to call them. I think that's derogatory. I think they're police officers.
No, there's like actual like just parking ticket people. Like.
Okay.
So like I know, for instance, like at school, like people that just go around, check for the parking pass, write a ticket.
Oh yeah. Okay, you're talking about like on a campus.
Or in a city, like the big cities have same thing.
Right. Okay. Because
But
all right, I thought like in a city they were like police officers.
they can. Police officers can write a ticket as well.
Yeah.
But so I'm just like envisioning in my head, you and your little Susie over here.
Yeah.
Go put the ticket on the car over there, and then like as soon as they pick up the windshield wiper, and then the whoever's car it is comes out. What in the hell?
Yeah, exactly. Pissed off.
Yeah.
Throwing it. Oh man, cause a scene.
Yeah.
Speaking on that, I saw a dude one time. As soon as this lady was riding one, he threw the ticket back at her, and I was like, "Dang!" I was like, "But she didn't deserve all that. She's just doing her job."
Yeah. So that's the first one. Second one, I know you mentioned like the biomechanical waste, all that stuff. Mine is just a trash man in general. Can you just imagine like a little like 7-year-old just riding on the back of the trash truck?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that was the first one. Like being, oh my gosh, dude, that would suck so much because you just smell stinky, hot, dirty trash all day. Like imagine if it was summertime or right when school starts in August when it's still hot.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not doing that. I'm not about to sit right here and ride this truck with you all day. Like, you better FaceTime me, bro, and pretend like I'm not showing up. Like, I'm not no, I'm not doing that. Now, trying to think of another sucky one though. Where it would just be annoying. I guess
I mean, annoying for the kids would be like landscaping stuff like that, but like
yeah. Also, okay, if you worked in an office and it was like one of those like old people quiet offices and you had like this like 6-year-old. Oh, that would be annoying. Because they would just be in everything and they just shut up. Stop. Quit moving.
And then you got 7 80-year-old women about to call DHS on you.
Exactly. You shouldn't be yelling at them like that. All right.
You want a coloring book?
Exactly. Exactly. Dude, okay. So there's another thing I wanted to kind of get your idea on. Switching topics here a little bit. So I kind of mentioned it to you right beforehand.
Yeah.
So all right. So I know you're into sports. So I mentioned this with, how do you feel about coaches of opposite sex coaching the opposite sex team? For instance, a woman coaching male sports or a male coaching female sports.
Yeah, and for me, I think I don't really see any difference in it. I mean, I think as long as they're successful and like continue that success, then they should be welcome to be able to do it. I think I think obviously if you suck at it, I don't think that you should be able to use that crutch as like, oh, it's a guy coaching women's sports, right. Or vice versa. Like, oh, it's a girl coaching an NBA team. Like, no, if she sucks, get out.
Yeah, get them out. Yeah. So, okay, I have mixed feelings on this, and mine more so comes from I'm just thinking about it at like the lower levels before you get to professional, because I have a whole different idea for professionals. Mm-hmm. When it comes to like, I think about this a lot with like high schoolers. Okay. Cause that's a weird age, dude. That's a weird age where there's like girls that are like 17, 18. Then there's this guy that's, fresh out of college that's trying to get into coaching. You see this time and time again, and something weird goes on there.
Well, and now that you already said that, like now I'm already thinking like any woman coaching a boys' high school football team. That's probably a terrible idea.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm like, so I'm thinking like, so that's where my head goes to. I'm like, because people always talk about like we need to protect the kids, and I'm like, so nobody sees a problem with this. Like nobody sees this as an issue. Like I only say this because like I know of coaches like from when I was coming out of high school that I don't know enough evidence to say that they were involved with other girls, like the young girls my age. But I can say this though, like it was enough stuff to where everybody kind of questioned it, to where I was like, yo, y'all see that? You know what I mean? Like so it's just like, so I'm thinking now as I'm kind of getting older, getting closer to being a parent. I just think like, I think I would feel weird if I had a little girl.
So I think it varies. I think there's like a age where it's okay and then it stops being okay
Right.
and then it becomes okay again.
Yeah. Okay. But all right. Hold on. But because here's also my thing too, that they talk about getting more women into sports,
Mm-hmm.
um, and this goes into like kind of like where I think it varies for professionals, because I don't think there's a problem crossing over, but here's my thing, I see. Well, I got to say this in multi parts because you see a lot in college. They use guys coaching women's sports as a step up to men's.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wait, if everybody says it's the same across the board, what? Okay, so then why don't you have them start off somewhere at a smaller school with guys instead of using it like? Because I think if you use it as a step up, then everybody views it as a step up.
Yeah.
Here's a step, and then we're going here. So then, but then you can't scream about it not being it. It's all the same. You can't do that. And so I feel like there's so many qualified women that are professionals or once were professionals that could coach college sports.
Oh yeah.
I believe the same as there's tons of girls that are played in college and that want to get into coaching and can coach at a high school level and can move up from there, use that as a stepping stone. I think it makes it more comforting from a standpoint of if I'm a parent and I see that guy's 22, my daughter's about to turn 18 tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's just
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this happens, but I do think that it would be more comforting looking at that situation if that was like, okay, hey, because and I think also from like a mentor standpoint too, that girl, if that was a girl, she's 22,
Yeah.
and my daughter's about to turn 18, and she's thinking about college basketball. That girl can tell, hey, yeah, I just I'm using college basketball as an example, but this can
Yeah.
go for any sport,
Really?
like you name it.
I see.
Yeah, you can be like, she could look at her and be like, hey, I'm thinking about this, and she could tell you, well, hey, here's my experience, and here's what I did to kind of get me there. Where a guy can't really tell you, well, the opposite sex can't tell you what it did for them to get to their point. And I take that to even like the best example we see right now for women crossing over into men is in football. And my thing is here, like, bro, you can't tell me what it takes to get to the league.
Yeah.
You've never been hit before with pads on. Nobody's ever rocked your bell and you had to get back up and figure out, first of all, what play is this? Like, where? Oh, okay, I'm back. Yeah. Like, now, at the same time, I do think in the strategic sports, kind of like basketball or baseball, they could be there.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think that there's like they still can't quite give you the mentorship that a coach should if they didn't make it. You know what I mean? I don't know how to say that, but like I do think that like now, I'm not saying that should we make the like the sports just sex based, like male coaches coach men, female coaches coach women. To a certain degree, I say yes. I think for young kids when you have minors involved, yes. I think across the board, absolutely. It causes too many possible weird situations to go on. But now when you get to the collegiate level and the professional level, I think, well, collegiate, I think you kind of got to look at it as how can this person help my players go to that next level and mentor them.
Mm-hmm.
Professionally, I think it can be a little blurred because it's like I see they have like a lot of women coming in for like strength and conditioning,
Mm-hmm.
or helping like with the Jillies and things like that. And I think that makes sense. That does. But when it comes to like certain play calling and stuff, I'm like, there's only a few women that have played. I think there's only one woman that's played college football, and that was just a couple of years ago. There's no other one, so I'm like, I don't know how she could. I mean, she could, I guess, study the game, but I don't know like how she could contribute further to where she could do play calling. But I don't know if there's an equivalent woman's professional sport on that level, because where you have like pro basketball. I'm excluding soccer from this because I think that can be kind of straight up.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, unless you can think of another sport that's equivalent to that, I think kind of football stands on its own over there.
I agree. I think it does because I mean everything else kind of has the equivalent, like baseball, softball, basketball has both. Like you said, soccer. I feel like I know there's two different sports, but I feel like either could be like you could just combine them. And
Exactly.
I mean, everything else is about the same. Like, go down to like random sports like hockey, little things like tennis, all those kind of things. Like everything is still the same.
It's just pretty much the same, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like, I'm trying to think, but I've been looking at that though recently because you see more of like an influx of it, and I just think like, okay, like my main thing is really, I mean, as I've already said, the kid's standpoint of like, I think we need to look at that, bro. Like, wait a minute, let's kind of.
So for me, I think like I said, I think it should be okay at like an early age before, like the early age before they do like locker rooms and stuff like that. Where
okay, I can see that.
So it's like I don't know what that would be, like kindergarten or right before to like maybe like 4th, 5th grade, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there.
Because like they do like end of quarter, halftime on the bench, all those kind of things. Everything's right there. Practices are all in front of parents, all those kind of things. I think that cool. But then like I do think like that middle school, high school, that's such a huge like development time, especially
dude.
We're guys. We understand how we grew up playing sports. We understand that locker room talk. We understand what every guy is thinking when they're 16.
Exactly.
And so, like, it's one of those things where I don't think, like, for instance, like a high school football team, probably going to be 99, if not 100% boys on that roster.
Yes. And
you have a couple girl coaches in there.
Okay, bro, my school banned like water girls, banned those. But dude, we had a trainer that, I mean, she was very average. But the fact that she was in the locker room though, took her up to doggone best thing that ever walked on this earth. But they always had somebody in there to supervise though. But I don't know if all programs do that.
Well, that's the thing is like, we can't trust people to always supervise. And we all know how people are, and people are going to break whatever rule they want to break.
Exactly.
I mean, we see all these disgusting people with the teachers and students and all those kind of things.
Yeah, all the time, dude. All the time.
So, I mean.
And I'm just thinking like, okay, if I had a kid, like you brought up a great point with the locker room thing. Imagine you have and I just keep thinking about this as from the standpoint of a daughter, like having a daughter. Because if I had a son, and a woman if she was brave enough to coach middle school boys, I would be like, you know what? Honestly, I want to see how this plays out. That would be that's the most annoying locker room.
Yeah.
Like,
has to be.
Yeah, it's a bunch of playing around and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It's just, but now when it gets to high school, I think it has to be more serious because now you're talking about people's futures with education and blah, blah, blah. So guys take it a little bit more serious. So it's a little bit different. But I'm just thinking like, okay, if I had a middle school year-old daughter, that's when girls start turning into women to keep it kind of PG. And it's like, I don't want no man near that situation in there, bro. Like, no, don't call me on the phone. Hey, Mr. Bivens, so can I talk to you real fast? Your daughter? No, bro, no. Like, no. Just because, dude, it's too many weirdos out here. It's too many, and I want to make sure I'm not even saying that, like, do I trust people? Yeah. But do I think people can do weird stuff for no reason? Absolutely. I just feel like, dude, I do not want to hear a phone call from some random guy that just coaches at the school. And like, dude, okay, my school's had men volleyball coaches. How many dudes you know that play volleyball? Like on a serious level.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's not many. It's only in a few college programs for a reason. Like, but I'm just thinking, why are you coaching girls volleyball in middle school? Like, dude, coach something. Pick another sport. Like, it just always just felt weird. And I'm just like, okay, if my daughter is in that situation, I don't want some man sizing her up for tights. No. Find whoever you got to, the oldest lady in here or whoever. Find somebody.
Somebody else's mama's doing this.
Exactly. Somebody's mama from the team better come here. We not doing, Coach so-and-so, Mr. So-and-so. No, absolutely no. It's just not happening. So that's why, but I think, though, we're in this era of, 2020 of, inclusiveness, which I get, opportunity. But it's like, at what point does opportunity cause higher risk for everyone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree. Like you said, there's too many weirdos out here, and us just allowing everyone to have an opportunity is not
yeah,
everyone. Not
just
everyone
in the
deserves
voice
that.
of like, it's inclusive. He's a coach. He's a dad. He has kids. So
No.
yeah, like I don't care. That changes nothing for me.
And our divorce rate in America is how high?
Exactly. Like
Come
that,
on.
exactly. Like, dude, I think with that kind of coaching, I do think, just kind of reiterate my point.
Mm-hmm.
I think at the lower levels, we should probably keep it kind of the same gender. But see, here's the thing: we're with and we're gonna kind of tiptoe this line here. At least I will. You choose what you will. Like we have this, with transgender coming about,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's gonna be something that's presented, and so I don't know quite what you do with that situation. I don't, but I think for the people that identify with, what do they call them, cisgender people,
Mm-hmm.
they identify with what they were born with. I think at the lower levels, if those people do that, then we should keep them just with the same ones. And then as you get older, okay, you can kind of explore it. But I just think I don't know why it's such a push right now for the crossover. You know what I mean? Like, it's because I don't see what else does it add to the game. You know what I'm saying?
My question is, dang, sports that bad? We gotta start switching it up. Like,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like what is it adding to the game? Like,
Mhm.
I really don't see it. I mean, sure, I guess it's opportunity for people, but it's like there's so many people that can have an opportunity that are actually involved in that sport. This also leads me down my tangent of, I don't know if I said this to you, but I said this to somebody else. My tangent of like commentators. Dude, I'm so tired of seeing these random commentators talk about sports that they never played. Like, no professional athletes up there. And I'm like, bro, give me somebody that was at least involved in a professional sport and that knows what they're talking about, at least on a professional level.
Mhm.
You don't just quit hiring Jimmy from over here that did sports journalism for 2 years and his dad.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I need
Like,
a washed up college quarterback or like
exactly.
some,
Like,
some like NBA
give me
player
some.
that got hurt, unfortunately.
Exactly. Like, give me those guys.
Yeah, he needs a
Like,
career, and I need to hear him on TV.
exactly.
We both win.
Like, yeah, because like they can tell you what goes on in the locker room like that. Though, hey man, I was only there 3 years, but I can tell you what happened in my 3 years there. Or
Mhm.
like what the ideas behind something. Or they can give you more concise detail on stuff.
Well,
Like
I think people like that because Tony Romo, obviously made a huge splash from joining CBS.
yeah,
Dude, he like predicts the play. He predicts.
yeah.
He's like, hey, they're
And
gonna
everybody's like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
it's
you're like,
wow.
yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You could have this
Like,
every game if you stop hiring randos.
yeah, exactly. And it's like, but you see, and they are starting to do that a little bit. But you just got some of these just kind of random. Here's my thing too. I like kind of just talking about like the sexes a little bit.
Mhm.
And I'm not trying to get these people out of jobs. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But it's just like, you see, like, how many professional women athletes do we see? Like NBA, soccer. I'm pretty sure volleyball is one. That then okay, they could do something else afterwards as far as sports commentating, but they get random people on there like Molly.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, dude, I would much rather have a professional athlete that at least has some type of insight into the work that it takes to be a professional athlete, to be up there if you want to go for like diversity quota. You know what I mean? And I don't even know if you ask them, they'll probably be like, no, it's not for diversity quota. She's highly qualified. She's been doing sports for blah, blah, blah. But no, dude, that's what you got her up there for.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4 dudes and then it's her. And it's like, you could have easily had found something. Because here's my thing too. Like, you see how like the WNBA, like all that kind of controversy going on. Okay, take some of those women that are now retiring or they're leaving, put them in those roles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is Lisa Leslie not on somebody's talk show? Like, dude, that lady, what? She won like 3-4 titles.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if they, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are those type of women not in those positions? Last time I checked, all Molly does is kind of switch the topics, goes on to the next segment,
tries
introduces.
to moderate.
Yeah, like You telling me Lisa Leslie couldn't sit up there for however much that lady makes and moderate? And then actually, you know what? She might drop a dime or something in there because, hey, she's actually invested in sports. She likes sports. So I'm sure she doesn't only know about WNBA basketball. I'm sure she could tell you something about football too. I'm sure she could tell you something about baseball as well. You know what I'm saying? It's just so weird to me, that whole construct of that too.
For me, I think the biggest thing would be I agree with having more like athletes that have done it to be able to commentate. I think the handful of commentators that have done it for several years, I think are fine, but I think they need to be with an athlete. You know what I mean? Like Doris Burke. Doris Burke does a great job. I think her and I don't really like Chris Webber, but like her and Reggie Miller, that's not a terrible like matchup for commentary.
Right.
Chris Webber is kind of off the wall with his commentary. So
right, Brandon Marshall, I was gonna say that's the one for me. He's like, I'm like, okay, I see why they put you on there, but let's not.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like there's a lot of options, but I definitely agree. That's something we need to get rid of because when you're sitting at home listening to a game, like you don't want to hear trash commentary. Then nothing makes you want to change. Change the game worse than that.
You're saying is that the lady that does a lot of the basketball games?
Mm-hmm. She does.
Okay, that's what I didn't say. Okay, I as soon as you said the voice and you said commentary, it made me think of it. Because at first I was like, who's he talking about? Yeah, okay, commentary. Yeah, that for sure. But I'm talking, I guess mine was more focused on just like those morning shows you see,
like those talk shows.
Yeah, and you're like, this is awful. You please get I don't want to hear you interject about whatever.
They are all so bad. Like every show, Fox, ESPN, they're just like. They're all like set up to be the same, but on a different channel with like different people. Because like it's all like two people argue this way, two people argue this way, and it's the same thing. It makes no sense.
And I'm just like, I hate it. Makes me almost sound like they're like, oh, then somebody's gonna be like, sounds like you just want to get rid of women. I'm like, no, just get more qualified women in there. I mean, and I say that too for the guys. It's not like it's just excluded to the women. There's only a handful of like those actual like commentating guys and sports analysis guys that are actually qualified. And I think they've kind of proven themselves over time, but it's like, I would still much rather take the analytical aspect of a guy that played the sport and now he's chosen to go into a studio.
Yeah.
He's more invested
what is that? NBA, The Jump on ESPN.
Exactly. Yeah.
You got Rachel Nichols, who's been doing it forever. And then you have T-Mac, Paul Pierce, and then
exactly.
They even have other players join them a lot of the time.
Yeah,
but
and it's like
that's the perfect balance because
they have an interest there. Yeah, they're involved. They knew they did what it took to get there, and then now they've chosen to go to a studio, and they're like, okay, yeah. So like this is kind of my viewpoint, and this is how I imagine it. Like it makes me as a viewer enjoy it more because I'm like, okay, well I didn't really think about it like that from the sports analyst standpoint. And also, okay, this guy must know something too because it gives him more credibility.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, that's what it really kind of comes down to.
No, I mean, I 1,000,000% agree because there's a lot of people on there that don't know what they're talking about and they
just random stuff.
Yeah.
I think that one lady though, I think her name is Molly. She probably has to be like
on First Take. With
with Stephen A.
Yeah.
She,
I believe she's like married to Jalen Rose, so I think that's her in there.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Well, that would explain a whole lot.
Yeah.
Because it's just like some interjection that she has. You're like, bro, what? What do you talk? Why? And I know people say stupid stuff. Brandon Marshall has some of the stupidest sports takes ever, but it's just like. I mean, you ask him to be on the show. You ask her to be on the show as well, though. But, like, she's supposed to be the moderator. So her job really isn't to give you an analysis, and then she gives you something stupid when she decides to go outside of that box. And you're like, I don't want to – no, dude, I don't want to hear that. Anyway.
I agree. I know while we're on the subject of sports, though.
Yeah.
Next Friday, the 20th, starts NBA free agency.
Oh, boy.
And then I think the players can officially start signing on the 22nd. So they get a few days to be free agents. Fred Van Fleet, a.k.a. Drake's twin, said that he is trying to quote unquote cash out during free agency. So I wonder.
Wait, is he a free agent?
Yeah, and unrestricted free agent.
Mm.
And he said he's trying to cash out. So somebody's going to throw him a bag, and he's either going to end up at a terrible team with nobody around him, and it's going to be the last we ever hear of him, or
Right.
somebody's going to give him a good amount of money, and he's going to go be a good piece somewhere.
Because what he's got a good he's got a ring already.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking of this, just off the fly here. I mean, I got no basis for any of this, so I'm really just flying with this here. All right, off the rip, the Celtics, the Mavs, or the Suns.
So
that's just out of my back pocket.
I can see the Suns, but the Suns want CP3 right now.
Yeah, but why would you not? I mean, yeah, but that's stupid though.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, mentorship. I see, but like, if you want to,
that's it. They just want the mentorship.
But if you want a true run, Forever and Fleet. I mean, what? He's 26, 27?
Maybe. He's pretty
like summer. Yeah, like that man with Devin Booker, bro. Come on, buddy. Like that'd be. I mean, that's nice, and that gives you something to build with, give you something to work on.
It also opens up the paint. You just throw the ball to Ayton. DeAndre Ayton's down there, and everyone else on the wings guarding. All these
like
point shooters.
Exactly. Come on, bro. Like that would actually be kind of cool. And I think the Celtics, because they could use another like point guard presence like that.
Yeah, but they don't have the money. They don't have that's the only thing with the Celtics. I thought about it, because that CP3 is going to be leaving. He's going somewhere. I think.
You saying put Philip?
I think
you said put him in Oklahoma City
potentially. Yeah. They don't really have a roster, so I mean,
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
they have to have money somewhere.
Well, yeah, but on top, but are you saying just for him to go, or for him to try to make a run at a championship?
He said he's trying to cash out.
So he's not really thinking about. I mean, he already got a ring. I mean, yeah, if you're just going for the money, I mean, yeah, they got it. Shouldn't the Pacers have it too?
Maybe. I don't know what Oladipo's costing him.
Man, he's about to get up out of there. Watch. Is he coming back this season? Like is he?
Because he's healthy. He gets hurt like every third game he comes back. So I don't really know. But I mean, Giannis is this is gonna be his last year. So do the Bucks trade him, or do the Bucks keep him for one last year?
Who?
Giannis.
I mean, I would think if they were asking me, like front office, I would say, hey, look, okay, so he gave us MVP numbers, which is the cheapest route. I mean, I said keep him. Let ride this stock as high as you can get it.
You're gonna ride it one more year to not win a championship.
And just pray that he stays healthy. I mean, or you're saying, I mean, no, I guess it wouldn't be cheaper, huh?
Do you not want something before he leaves? You know he's leaving you. Do you not want to try
then sell him off. Yeah. Oh, damn, that sounds terrible. I mean, trade him off for pieces. Yeah. I mean, it from a business standpoint, but I guess you would still when he leaves though, like when he becomes a free agent, that clears up space, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it just clears up his contract. You don't get any picks out of that. You don't get any players.
I don't know. That's tough because I mean, yeah, you want to, but like at the same time, I guess I am in kind of like favor of the players, so I don't want players getting screwed over. But I mean,
if he gets traded, he's not getting screwed over. He's going to a championship-winning team.
I mean, you don't think they're going to want a whole lot back for Giannis?
So I think the Heat have the best things to offer because they'll give their first-round pick and probably a couple of those young guys they had. I did see a tweet that made me laugh. It said it said report Miami Heat willing to trade Tyler Hero in Giannis trade, and somebody quote tweeted and said report willing to trade my current girlfriend for Kendall Jenner.
But honestly though, like, I mean, here's my thing. That's what I was gonna say. They're gonna have to give up that first pick, and if I'm the Bucks, that's exactly who I'm asking for. Out of their young bunch of guys. I mean, unless you go for Bam, because if you still want a big presence, quote unquote, but it's like,
well, the thing
you get that next year.
The thing that the Heat can, or anybody can argue with the Bucks played better without Giannis in the playoffs. So when they beat Miami in that series, the only time they beat Miami, Giannis was out of the game.
Yeah, but also I think Jimmy Butler shot out that game too, didn't he?
No.
He played that game.
Yeah, it went to overtime. And then what is it? Middleton? Middleton played the best.
Yeah.
Like, he's been their best clutch player in the playoffs.
Oh no, man! Dang, now you got me. You got me thinking.
I just really hope he doesn't go to Golden State. If Giannis goes to Golden State, the world is screwed again for another 5 years.
You said the world? No. The Lakers. They'll shut that down. Because here's the thing.
How?
It's so well. One, so you'll have the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Warriors. One of the
Clippers out of that.
You don't think? Okay, I think the Clippers are going to get better. And here's my thing. I think they'll be so worried about the Lakers, but the thing is, they'll actually focus in. And I think a focus in Clippers team could beat that Warriors team.
They got to get a point guard. Living off of Mr. Black Air Force One, Patrick Beverly, that ain't going to cut it.
Look, they still haven't said where Bradley Beal is going. So
yeah, that's the thing. I think if Giannis doesn't go to Miami, I think Beal goes to Miami.
Oh, no. Why? For what? It doesn't benefit him.
I think they definitely.
Okay, look at this.
Either Pete or Plug, they win a championship.
He bought a house in L.A. to go to Miami.
Hey,
no, bro.
They got a house everywhere, but
I mean, yeah, you can, but it's like there's no. I definitely see he's going to be somewhere on the West Coast.
If he goes to the Lakers, though, that is not fair.
It's not, but I would love to see it. Just because I want LeBron to win another one, but I think that's just such like crabs in a bucket right there of like because you still have given that James Harden hadn't been traded to the 76ers, you still have Houston in that contention, you still have the Warriors, Clippers, and the Lakers, and I think all those teams on a given night can knock each other out. So it's like that's such a hard fought everywhere. So just adding Giannis to the Warriors, that just makes them contenders.
We saw those young teams in the West too, with the Jazz and the Nuggets. And those are two young.
Exactly.
Made some good.
You know what I'm saying? And the Warriors were without Clay and Steph. They were the worst team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
well, dude, I heard that Dwight Howard got traded to the Warriors.
No way, did he?
Look
it up, bro. Look it up. Don't say that.
I'm telling you right now, this is what I heard. And I really hope that if they got Dwight Howard, that is not fair.
I'm about to look right now.
And I really hope that everything I saw on that is not true.
Yeah, bro, it's not true.
All right, good.
He's still at the Lakers.
So we're still in talks. So that is still must be a possibility because I know they're going to probably get Wiseman in the draft.
Yeah, no. The last thing I've seen about him, he said 1 month ago, and it was talking about him being traded to the Lakers, just like how it looked.
Yeah, definitely a good second time around for him.
Yeah,
a lot better than the first time. That team that should have probably won every championship with Steve Nash, Kobe, and Dwight, and Pau Gasol too.
Yeah, man, dude, I actually I was watching some highlights today of great moments in basketball, and I saw that team and I was like, dang, buddy. I mean, they were solid. Like
that's a good team, but the all-time what could have been team is the OKC Thunder.
Oh, with KD, Russ, James Harden.
Yeah.
And wait, who was their center that year? Was it?
So Steven Adams.
It was.
Yeah.
Man, because James Harden was coming off the bench then, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was the sixth man. Yeah, he won sixth man of the year then. And dang, dude, and to think that they were up 3-1 to the Warriors.
No, they played the Heat in the finals.
No. I'm talking about OKC before KD left.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
and then
he leaves. Yeah. When they play the Heat, because that's when LeBron won. What was that like his first one?
I think so.
No, it
was his second.
I was gonna say because Ray Allen hit the corner one for the first one. So yeah. Dang,
dude. That's the all-time what were you thinking?
Yeah, exactly. Who let them leave?
Yeah.
They shouldn't have a job.
Dude, that's the worst front office of all time. Speaking of random basketball things, I did see something. I wanted your take on this. So you got start one, bench one, cut one. Tracy McGrady, Carmelo Anthony, Russell Westbrook.
Cut Carmelo, start Tracy McGrady, and bench. Who was the last one?
Russell,
yeah.
Okay.
Easy. That's a no-brainer for me. Tracy McGrady, in his prime, coldest dude. Not coldest, but by the top 5 to ever touch the court.
T-Mac was MVP, bro. He was –
man. Tracy McGrady had me trying to wear a calf muscle sleeve when I was like 9. Now, I was and I was trying to get those T-Macs.
Bro, I wear T-Macs as a kid. I lived in Orlando as a kid, so like I used to go watch.
Weren't those like Adidas or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but I used to customize a player that looked just like T-Mac on NBA Live 2003. Yeah, T-Mac, that's an easy one for me. Start him.
When people said like they did that on Twitter and like ranked them, and I was like, this is not even a question. Like,
this isn't. No, not at all. Have they not seen T-Mac hit those game winners, bro? Going up over people, bamming on people, windmill it. Oh my gosh, dude. Carmelo. That ain't even in the.
I did the same thing.
Ooh, he should be lucky he was even considered in that conversation. Like,
yeah, I want to know how much whoever made that smoked before they made that, because like they were definitely on something.
Yeah, high as a kite. They were just like Carmelo. Yeah. Like
Russell Westbrook and T-Mac.
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's like, no, that's not even. No, the impact on the game is even different. Like T-Mac gets on the court and everybody has to switch up. I mean, Russ same way, but Carmelo is like, do I let him shoot this game or do I? You know,
like what will like the whole career? What Carmelo are we getting? You know,
exactly.
Are we gonna get Nuggets 15 with the headband, or are we gonna get like Syracuse Carmelo?
Yeah, like what are you getting with him? You don't know, and it's like
the LA Fitness Carmelo
with the hoodie
Melo starting. I'm sorry.
Like, dude, man, Melo, and I get, okay, they said he went through a lot of stuff. He was trying to get some stuff sorted. I get, and going through a separation or whatever with your wife, that can drain you. But bro, that's still, we get that happens, but that still doesn't change our fandom and how we rank you and view you. Like, I mean, we get it. Life happens. Penny Hardaway possibly could have been the best player ever, gets hurt. You know what I mean? Things happen. So it's like, it is what it is.
Facts. So before we switch up topics and wrap this up, I know last episode I said coming with winners for the weekend.
All right.
So 2 biggest games I like: college football. Oregon to win by 10 points, cover the spread against Washington State.
You think they will?
Yes.
Okay.
And then Wisconsin to win by 3.5. Their spread is -3.5. So for them to cover that 3.5 over Michigan. Those are my 2 favorite.
Didn't Michigan just lose to like Indiana?
Indiana. They are. Yeah, I get it. We've only seen one Wisconsin game because they missed the last couple due to COVID. But I think this is going to be it.
So you're saying if they'll cover that 3,
yeah, I got Wisconsin covering the 3 and Oregon covering the 10. And my NFL pick is actually Thursday Night Football with the Colts +2 against the Titans. So the Colts coming off. The Colts are 5-0-1 against the spread this year. So
5-0-1. Okay. So explain that spread right there. We're like, so +2.
So +2 means they can lose by 2, lose by 1, or win.
Okay. And you think that will happen?
Yeah, I don't see the streak ending. At least worst case, it ties, and it what would be in betting terms.
You think they'll just lose by 2 against the Titans,
or win? Yeah, they kept up with the Ravens for a good.
But what's like? So what's the Titans like average score points this year? Isn't it like 21?
Probably somewhere in there.
So it's like, so you're expecting them to at least get 23, or 19 for the Colts, right?
At least, yeah. I mean, Phillip Rivers can do that. They got Jonathan Taylor in the backfield.
I don't get that much faith in Phillip Rivers.
I didn't really have much faith in them last week until, I thought the Ravens were going to win the whole time, which they did.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
definitely didn't think it was going to be that close of a game.
Okay.
The analytics don't lie. 5-0-1 against the spread this year is pretty good.
I don't like that though against the Titans, so I'm saying they're not gonna do it. I'm at least imagining them losing by at least a field goal.
3?
Yeah, at
Okay.
least. Like
Okay.
I could see a full touchdown though, touchdown and extra point.
As we speak right now, 58% of the public is on your side, saying the
Yeah,
Titans.
I was saying, yeah,
And
I could definitely see that. No, when you said that about, I haven't watched much Pac-12 football.
just started
So that
last week.
okay, well, like so, okay, but like just going off of last year, I think Washington State was all right.
It looked like dog doo-doo week 1 though. So
Who was
Washington State, and you guys,
Washington State was?
Washington State had Mike Leach as their coach. He's now at Mississippi State, so they got a new coach.
Right. That's what I say. Yeah, I saw him pop up the other day on the screen, and I was like, I didn't know you were down there. Yeah. So I think, but that 10, I mean, if the Ducks are at least halfway, kind of what they used to be, I mean, I could see them doing 10. But I don't know. I feel like their games can either be like one-sided or shootouts out there. It's kind of like the Big 12,
Mm-hmm.
like just in the West.
Hey, Big 12 is allergic to defense. I will always say they are always going to be allergic to defense forever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my boys, the Sooners. You see that? Our 2 losses this year is because we cannot figure out defense. We let teams stay in it, and we try to outshoot them, and then they get a stop on us, and then they take control of momentum and they score, and then it's like, yeah, cool, great. Hey, we can score too, but it's like, just get a stop.
I don't know does Spencer Radler have the weapons though? I don't think he has any. Like these last few quarterbacks.
Yeah,
but these last few quarterbacks have had what CeeDee Lamb and.
But they came into that though. It wasn't as if like,
yeah.
All right, I mean, dang, this is gonna take a whole another time of like us breaking that down. Yeah, we can get into that. But yes, he has more than enough qualified weapons, and he should be enough of a qualified weapon to keep us in those games and win those games. And he's not fully fulfilling his part on that. I don't think. He's a little loose with the ball. But then again, just our defense in general. I don't know why Oklahoma we had the 5th worst defense, and then we brought in the coach from the defensive coordinator from Ohio State, who had the worst defense in college football, literally ranked dead last, and we give him a contract. And I said, okay, this doesn't even make sense to anybody. Like, the guy had the worst defense, and you bring him to your team, which your weak point is defense. Doesn't make sense. But who am I? I'm just a fan.
Unfortunately, we're not going to have a lot of football to watch this weekend. Like,
yeah,
the SEC's canceled.
Because of COVID stuff?
Mm-hmm. I know, like, Tennessee and A&M got canceled. Auburn games canceled. Alabama LSU got canceled.
Well, they're gearing up, dude, for closures in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
Just do, with the presidential switch and everything, and they're already getting for it. I mean, just even though this is, my last semester, they've been talking about it, how they're already telling students all classes will be online next semester. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, because they know, and they say there may not even be a chance for attendance ever. Like, I mean, as far as, next semester, where like, this semester they kind of worked in some. Mm-hmm. So it's like, and, they have their whole legal battle with, well, if the kids don't attend the school, can they still play the sports for the school? And it's like, because they're not a paid athlete and all that type of stuff. So we could be looking at no spring sports.
Bro.
You know what I mean? That just happened to those guys this past spring.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like somebody's getting screwed over in this.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen, but before we hop down a political rabbit hole, like we said, let's go ahead.
Let's get out of here. Well, any final thoughts? Any closing thoughts? Anything?
Man, just as always, just thank you to everyone that's listening. Keep sharing, keep subscribing, keep giving us feedback, comments, all that stuff. Keep letting us know what you want to hear, and we'll keep talking about it.
And thank you to the 6 people that have subscribed so far on our YouTube. That is awesome. We are slowly growing, getting better. And like Drake said, content. Tell us what you guys want to hear. and we'll keep bringing you what we want to talk about, and keep entertaining you guys. We appreciate
Absolutely. Hey, have a good weekend, everyone. We will recap this weekend next episode Monday. Till
Yep.
next time.